He heard the screams before he saw her. A child clinging to the bridge railing, eyes wide with terror, a woman below thrashing in the freezing water, and no one else was moving. No one else was helping. Everyone just stood there. But one boy, one 15-year-old boy, kicked off his shoes and jumped. That moment would change his life, and hers, forever. His name was Liam Torres, 15 years old, quiet, shy, the kind of boy who went unnoticed. He wasn't popular. He wasn't athletic. He wasn't brave. At least, that's what he thought. He lived with his single mother in a small town by the river, a place where everyone knew everyone. But lately, it felt like nobody really saw anyone anymore. Liam's mom, Elena, worked double shifts at the diner. Life wasn't easy, but she always told him one thing. If you can't be rich, be kind, because kindness is worth more than anything. He didn't realize how true that was until that cold Sunday afternoon in early spring. It was supposed to be an ordinary day. Liam was walking home from soccer practice, headphones in, bag slung over his shoulder. The air smelled like rain. The river beside the path shimmered beneath a gray sky, and birds scattered across the water surface. He turned onto Maple Bridge, the old pedestrian crossing that ran above the deepest part of the river. That's when he saw them, a small crowd forming, people shouting, phones up. At first, he thought there'd been a fight, until he heard it. A woman's scream, raw, desperate, coming from below. He ran to the edge and looked down, and his stomach dropped. A woman was in the river, caught in the current, being pulled toward the rocks near the dam. She was struggling, arms flailing, her head going under again and again. People stood frozen on the bridge, some shouting, some recording, but no one was helping. "Somebody call 911, someone yelled, but the current was too fast. By the time help arrived, she'd be gone. Liam didn't think, didn't plan, didn't wait. He dropped his bag, kicked off his shoes, and vaulted over the railing. The water hit like a wall of ice. Every nerve in his body screamed. It stole his breath instantly, but adrenaline took over. He surfaced, gasping, scanning. There, about 15 feet ahead, the woman's hand broke the surface. "Hold on!" he shouted, but she didn't hear him. The roar of the water drowned everything. He swam harder than he ever had before. The cold burned his lungs. His arms ached. The current slammed against him, spinning him sideways. He saw her face for just a second, terrified, pale, eyes wide. And then she disappeared beneath the surface. "No! No! No!" he yelled. He dove down. The cold darkness swallowed him. He reached blindly, searching, and then he felt it. A sleeve, a wrist. He grabbed hold, kicked upward, breaking the surface with a gasp. "I've got you," he shouted, wrapping his arm around her chest, fighting to keep her head above water. She coughed, choking, barely conscious. The current dragged them downstream, toward the dam. People on the bridge screamed, throwing ropes, shouting directions. Liam spotted a branch jutting from the embankment, and with every ounce of strength, he swam toward it, kicking against the pull. His muscles burned, his vision blurred. "Come on! Come on!" Finally, his hand caught the branch. He held it tight, using it to pull them closer to the riverbank. A man climbed down from the shore, grabbing the woman first, then helping Liam up. As soon as his feet hit the ground, Liam collapsed, chest heaving, water pouring from his clothes. The woman was coughing beside him, alive, and the crowd erupted in cheers. An ambulance arrived minutes later. Paramedics wrapped them in blankets. The woman's name was Clara Monroe, 32 years old, a mother of one, a schoolteacher in town. She lost her footing while trying to rescue her dog, who had slipped into the current. She couldn't swim. The dog made it out. She didn't, until Liam jumped. As the paramedics checked his vitals, a police officer crouched beside him. "Son, that was incredibly brave. You could have died." Liam looked up, teeth chattering. But she didn't. News spread fast. By the next morning, everyone in town knew. Local headlines read, "Teenager risks life to save woman in river rescue." Reporters called him a hero, but Liam didn't feel like one. He still couldn't forget how scared he'd been, how close they'd both come to not making it. His mom hugged him so tight he could barely breathe. "You nearly gave me a heart attack," she sobbed. But then she whispered, "I'm so proud of you." A few days later, Clara came to see him. She looked different, warm, alive, grateful. Her eyes filled when she saw him. "You don't know me," she said softly, "but because of you, my son still has his mother." She handed him a small gift box. Inside was a silver chain, with a charm shaped like a river stone. "It's not much," she said, "but I wanted you to have something to remind you that you saved a life." Liam smiled shyly. "I don't need anything. I'm just glad you're okay." Clara's eyes shimmered. Heroes never think they're heroes, but they are. A few weeks later, the mayor held a small ceremony at the community center. The entire town showed up. When Liam stepped onto the stage, he froze at the sight of hundreds of people clapping. He wasn't used to attention. He wasn't used to being seen. The mayor handed him a framed certificate. It read, "For bravery and selflessness in the service of others." As he took it, his eyes caught something near the back of the crowd. His mother smiling through tears, and Clara standing beside her, holding her son's hand. That moment he realized something powerful. You don't have to be fearless to be brave. You just have to care enough to act. Months passed. Life went back to normal. The story faded from the headlines. But every time Liam crossed that bridge, he'd stop for a second and look down at the river. The same river that nearly took 2 lives and gave both of them a new one. He was just a boy who jumped without thinking. But that one leap didn't just save a stranger. It reminded a whole town that courage still exists.